Tiffany Trump spent most of her childhood far away from the spotlight, but everything changed when her father, Donald Trump, launched his first presidential campaign. Suddenly, the whole world wanted to know more about the youngest Trump daughter. But what was her relationship with her dad like before politics took center stage? Let's rewind a bit. Back in 1993, when Trump's second wife, Marla Maples, told him she was pregnant, his reaction wasn't exactly what you'd call heartwarming. Years later, Donald admitted on the Howard Stern show that he responded with, "Excuse me, what happened?" and followed up with, "What are we going to do about this?" Meanwhile, Marla was overjoyed, calling it the most beautiful day of their lives. It's the kind of moment you'd hope would be full of excitement, but instead, Tiffany's welcome into the world was a bit awkward. Though Trump did eventually express his happiness, let's just say it was in his own unique way.
She's really a beautiful baby, and she's got Marla's legs. We don't know whether or not she's got this part yet, but time will tell.
After her parents split, Tiffany and Marla packed up and moved to California, choosing a quieter life far from Trump Tower.
Raising Tiffany in California, I think was important. I wanted to sort of get away from the spotlight a bit and have a chance to have a real good mommy-daughter time where she could discover really who she is.
Marla described raising Tiffany as a single mom as something she hadn't planned, but felt determined to do right. Her daddy is a good provider with education and such, she said, but as far as time, it was just me. In other words, Donald wasn't exactly around for school runs or bedtime stories.
He's the father of my child. I do not want to ever speak negative about it.
Since Tiffany lived on the West Coast, visits with her dad were limited to holidays or special occasions, like spring breaks and Easters at Mar-a-Lago. She once said, "I still see him on spring breaks or for Easter. I'm always at Mar-a-Lago with the family." And to be fair, Donald reportedly flew to California when Tiffany received school awards, and Marla made a point to bring her daughter to New York a couple of times a year to spend time with her father.
You know, my dad doesn't believe in just making empty promises. He actually acts on them and delivers.
It's important for her to form her own relationship with him without my input, Marla said. That effort didn't go unnoticed, but the bond between Tiffany and her dad was still different from the one he had with his other children. A source later told people that the distance created some strain. They always had a strained relationship her whole life, the insider claimed. And when Donald entered the White House, things apparently got worse. According to the same source, there were times when Tiffany went months without speaking to her father, and some family gatherings felt awkward for her. But Tiffany herself pushed back on that narrative. In interviews, she insisted that she and her father were close, saying, "We see each other as much as possible, and of course we speak on the phone." She even called him the funniest, most loving father, adding that distance doesn't define their bond. When Trump hit the campaign trail in 2016, Tiffany joined in, speaking at events and supporting him publicly.
He's always helped me be the best version of myself. By encouragement and by example, he motivates me to work my hardest and to always stay true to who I am and what I believe.
As for her relationship with her half-siblings, Donald Jr., Ivanka, Eric, and Barron, Marla made sure Tiffany stayed connected. "I never let her think of them as half-siblings," she explained. "This is your family." From birthdays to holidays, Tiffany was encouraged to reach out and keep those ties strong. Ivanka even said in 2016, "She's my little sister. I've been close to Tiffany her whole life, and I really love her." But while Tiffany's relationship with her father was often distant and complicated, apparently, being physically closer didn't make things any easier for his other kids, especially his eldest, Donald Trump Jr. Donald Trump Jr. is not just the eldest son of Donald Trump, he's also one of his loudest cheerleaders, but things between them weren't always picture perfect. In fact, their relationship was rocky for years. It all started when Trump Jr. was just 12. His parents, Donald and Ivana Trump, were going through a highly publicized divorce, complete with tabloid headlines like "Best Sex I've Ever Had" splashed across the front pages. Yeah, imagine being a kid and seeing that while riding to school. No wonder Trump Jr. didn't speak to his dad for a whole year. According to a 2004 New York Magazine profile, he blamed the breakup on his father, who had been having an affair with Marla Maples.
It was just so clear, and the trust was broken so badly that I knew that it was just a no way. it could be patched.
Later, though, Trump Jr. admitted he might have been influenced by his mom's side of the story.
It was a tough thing that he was going through.
And Ivana didn't mince words. He needed a father figure, she said, adding that Donald was rarely around. They had to go to his office just to say hello before school. So when the kids turned 21, she told him, "Here's the finished product." It was her way of saying, "I raised them. Now, it's your turn." After the divorce, Donald Jr. and his younger brother Eric were sent off to boarding school in Pennsylvania, far from the chaos of New York society. There, Don Jr. found a bit of peace and took up skeet shooting, something his father probably wouldn't have touched unless it came with gold trim. "When I went to boarding school, all those inconveniences just went away," he said at the time. Translation? He finally got a break from the Trump spotlight.
It's going to take a long time to recover.
But the real father figure in Don Jr.'s early life wasn't Donald. It was his maternal grandfather, Milos Zelnicek. During summers in the Czech countryside, Grandpa Milos taught him how to camp, hunt, fish, and even speak Czech, a far cry from Fifth Avenue. By the time college rolled around, Trump Jr. was following in his dad's footsteps at Wharton. But let's just say his college reputation wasn't all business suits and board meetings. According to classmates, he partied hard and was known for drunken brawls and dramatic stunts. One former classmate even claimed that Trump Sr. once slapped Don Jr. in front of his dorm mates for not dressing up properly for a Yankees game.
People think of me as not necessarily nice.
That story was later denied by the Trump family, but do we believe them? You decide. After college, instead of joining the family business right away, Don Jr. took off to Aspen, Colorado. He lived out of a truck, bartended, and soaked in the great outdoors. Sounds like he needed a serious break from all things Trump. During this phase, he barely spoke to his father at all. In fact, he got arrested during Mardi Gras in New Orleans for public drunkenness and spent nearly half a day in jail.
Don't drink. Don't drink.
Eventually, he left the mountains behind and joined the Trump Organization.
Well, real estate is real estate, right?
His first big assignment was Trump Park Avenue. But even then, father and son didn't always see eye to eye. Don Jr. wanted more modern designs, but Trump Sr. insisted on, you guessed it, gold doorknobs. At one point, Jr. even joked about putting Trump Jr. on the building. His father said no surprise there. Despite all the drama, over the years they managed to patch things up. These days, Don Jr. is his dad's ride-or-die supporter. From rallies to rants, he's been front and center in the MAGA movement. And he's not shy about hinting at his own political future either. At the Qatar Economic Forum, he was asked if he'd ever consider stepping into his dad's shoes as the next leader of the movement.
Well, it's an honor to be asked and an honor to see that some people are okay with it.
Those are just our friends.
Yeah,
in the front
that's
row,
probably
by the
just
way,
a couple people
it's
we
like
know.
the team,
Those are the
like
tickets we got.
yeah, that's it. Right.
You never know.